Hello everyone and welcome back to another New Year's. We are gonna start with solo scenes that we missed from last year, and the first one up is Luke. Luke, this is during the same time span as the others. It's Sunday in the week you're supposed to meet. Gabriel told you at Thursday, and you're having a concert. Just like a very intimate space, and when you finish with standing applause as usual, you come out backstage. Alicia is doing her usual things and really keeping your fans away from you because
my VIP donors are there, basically giving me all the support that a musician needs, of course.
Well, she's picking the right one out for you at the moment.
Yeah.
But you come out backstage, and to your surprise, there's a man sitting in the couch. Did you do not know? He's wearing a spiked leather jacket. He has black hair, like yourself, but a more stiff mohawk with green on top.
I realize I'm not wearing a mohawk, audience, but like Luke actually has one. Yeah.
And he's
punk like that.
He's smoking. He has his feet on the table like he does not have a care in the world. He looks at you, smiles, and says, "Hello, mate. Nice to see you. I'm your biggest fan."
And you are? I'm sorry. My manager here did not actually introduce me to you.
No, I don't think she saw me sneak out here. I'm Eddie. He stretches out his hand towards
Eddie.
you.
Yeah. And he's going to shake his hand, At this point, I think Luke is rocking Humanity 5, so he's got like little glowing pin pricks behind his eyes and everything. It's just kind of there. If you stare at him too long, you realize that there's something probably very wrong there. But he shakes his hand, notices the warmth or lack thereof of it, and it's like, what can I do for you today? You look like you're here for something particular or special. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a big fan, and I'm a rather resourceful individual, and I've been inspired by your lyrics, especially the songs about not having anyone control you. The songs about freedom and liberty. And
that's right. What else is there to live for?
The rebellious nature, and combining that with the beauty of a piano.
Absolutely. Yeah, just because we're fighting the power doesn't mean we need to give up on artistry.
Right on, man. I just wanted to show you my skills. I can be like you, unseen when I want to, and like I said, I'm a big fan. I've been following you for a while. It's kind of complicated. He leans in and whispers, "I know what you are."
You seem to know quite a lot about me. Yeah. That's Eddie. I respect the dedication and knowledge that you have. So are you here to help me out with certain things? I mean, is that you want to kind of get some piano time, as it were, metaphorically speaking?
I don't know anything about. I mean, I did some research, but the internet. But you're
he doesn't
a vampire, right? You're a vampire, right?
Oh, well,
quietly.
Well, ixnay on the vampire. We call ourselves something different. Are you new? Are you new?
I want to be what you are. And what does that require? I serve you for an X amount of years? Or how does it work?
Yeah. See, there's a whole vetting process and everything. There's a training period, right? What they call in America like a probationary employment period, and everything. It's where they make you basically work for no benefits for several months, and maybe offer you a job at the end of that if they feel like it. So
it's. Can I become your was it? Is it a familiar? What do you call it?
I think yeah. You know what? I think we can work out an arrangement. Yeah, definitely.
I guess that
definitely.
very resourceful.
Because I have a place in my life for you. Yeah, absolutely. You know, you've put in the work, you've put in the dedication. Never mind I'm just going to go ahead and push aside the entire stalker activity, you know, trend that you've cultivated here, and basically just say that I believe there's a special place for you. Yeah, on my crew. Absolutely.
I mean, you put up rules, people can't film things, and whenever there's a rule,
of course,
I kind of have to break it. I have to push the boundary. And
it makes it. Yeah.
I filmed you,
no,
and you didn't show up on the film.
Yeah. Well, see, it's the special effects. It's part of our what we call our deterrence system, you know, and allows for.
I thought it was because of and he points towards his teeth, which are not pointing.
Yeah. Well, you know, it could be that too. I like to allow speculation, you know, on that point. But yeah, the point is you want more of this, right? You want to get on the inside track, right? That's what you want? Absolutely, right? Yeah. So who do you work for right now?
No one, man. Fuck the system.
Fuck the system, right, exactly. And you're new to the city?
No. Born and bred.
Born and bred.
But I've been following you since, like, the beginning of your career, and when you got here, I had to, meet you, so...
Absolutely. Do you know anybody else in the city like me? You know, like, what are your connections? Like, well, better yet, what are your references?
Man, I don't know. It's like, I don't know anything about your world. I just, you know, you didn't show up on film, and that gave me the idea, and I tried holding up a mirror, and you didn't show up on that either.
I like you. I like where you're coming from. Yeah. I'll tell you what. And at this point, I'm going to step back out of character and go, okay, so like he will want to basically bring Eddie on as like a ghoul or you know, some kind of assistant for him. Sure, yeah. So back in character, he's like, okay, so you're interested in inside track working for me.
Whatever I have to do, man. Just tell me.
Absolutely. Sure. Absolutely. Fight the power. Okay. All right. So, tell you what. Let's go ahead and I'm going to get something prepared. Can I get you a drink?
He looks so...
Yeah.
Sure.
You thirsty?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't have to call you master, right?
No. Whatever you've heard about that, it's all wrong. Okay, so
there's the internet, man.
There's not. Yeah. Well, just ignore everything that's put on the internet. It's all fucking misinformation anyway. You know, you don't need to worry about that anymore. So I'll get you a drink. Just hold on right there, and he's gonna step in the back room and quickly like open up a vein and basically pour it into a drink and then come right back out and be like, here, you know, this is some of my special stuff right here. Like, you're gonna really love this, you know. And yeah, so I assume I need to make a rouse check for that. Yeah. Because he's basically going to ghoul him.
Just mechanically, it's not relevant right now, but eventually you would need to raise your blood potency to maintain 2 ghouls.
Oh yeah. Goals, got it.
It is fine for now, but if you keep pouring your power into him, you will have to increase your potency.
Oh, okay, you're right about that. Yeah. Well, okay, so I definitely don't want to do that. And the first dot isn't really like a bond anyhow, so I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine for him. He's just gonna like it more than he already does.
Right, exactly, and that's what I want. I just want him to really, you know, be on the level and really into me and do everything I say. That would be fantastic.
He drinks, and you can like kind of see the effect in the eyes. Like he is.
How's that?
He's feeling.
Yeah, you like that?
That's really good whiskey, man.
Little fucking dark and smoky there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really nice.
You're gonna love that.
Sure.
Now, I got more where that came from, but you got to earn it. Okay. You got to you got to go all the 9 steps, right? You every day on time, wherever I say.
Sure.
Can I count on you?
Here's my number, and he kind of just, it's a crumpled piece of paper or something.
He's gonna hand it to Alicia. He's just gonna be like, there you go. Take care of that. I'm going to need to know. Do you have an address? Like you have an address, right? Mailing. I don't give a shit if it's a mailing address or whatever. Someplace where I can find you.
He hands you or writes down an address. I kind of live with a friend now, and it's like I move around a lot.
Yeah. I move around too. In fact, I'm in the process of moving. It's in the works. And so, it's like the song goes, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here type of thing. So, I'm so fantastic, Eddie. I really like what you're bringing to the table. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to be in touch with you soon. All right. I'm going to be using the number. Make sure you you keep your phone on. Alicia here works with all my communications. Okay. So she's going to help out. She's going to be like the go-between here. I want you to forget everything you know about, pretty much everything you read on the internet about whatever I am. Okay. None of that. All right. We're not going to deal with that here. Okay. So like none of that language, none of anything you kind of said, the V word is out, all that stuff. None of that. All right. So Alicia here will be in touch with you, and I am going to work with you. I am going to give you the inside track here.
Cool.
You got a bright future. Yeah. You got a bright future, kid. Yeah. We're gonna get you set up.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem. And he's going to fist pump him and everything.
Yeah. Looking forward to hearing from you.
That's right. Rock on. Yeah.
He slips out the back door. You can see from his movements that, because you're the same way, he is very, very good at staying
he's got skills.
Hidden. And he clearly lockpicked the backstage door to get in here.
Yeah.
Because usually no one gets past Alicia.
Yeah. And he's going to say to Alicia, like, look, really? The locks. Okay, we need to step it up. All right, I'm just saying. I know this isn't our place, but like,
I'm sorry, sir. It's just but I have these 2 for you, and she comes out with 2 delicious people.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm just gonna help myself, and then find out everything you can about that kid. Right? All right. Yeah. Outstanding. Yeah.
Out of character, mechanically, if you want Eddie as a touchstone, your humanity will increase by 1.
Woohoo! All right, yes.
You can obviously tie. I think that you have a conviction in mind for him.
Yes.
Something along the lines of, "Don't let anyone control you," or something like that. Live for yourself. Right. I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but yeah.
I love how you work that in there. I had, it's been a while, so that actually slipped my mind, but no gods, no masters. Yeah.
No gods, no masters. That's one.
Yeah. So we'll call it Eddie, and he'll be the touchstone for that. I love what the kid's bringing to the table. I think he's got a bright future. So.
Unless you want more of your scene, I'm going to jump to Marie.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Marie, you are walking the streets of... it's the most southeastern part of your domain. You're walking with Isaac.
All right.
Just having a Tremere girls' nights out, really. Having fun, talking about occult things, magic, how to ward, and you're apartment hunting because you just got into some money, or will very soon. And Isaac had a particular place in mind that she wanted you to see. You arrive at a 2-storied corner house, which obviously it's usually very expensive in London, but it looks like an old building, early Victorian era. And Aisha, she she looks at you and then at the building. She smiles and she's kind of waiting for your reaction to it. It's a beautiful place, but it also looks like it has been abandoned for a while. Like there are no furniture in there. There are no people. The lights are off.
All right. So I'm going to take a look at the building. Maybe it's not specifically my specialty, restoration on renovation of buildings, but there is a part of me that it's saddened by the fact that this building that should be probably could be interpreted or viewed as some kind of cultural piece to be restored and well kept. I feel saddened by it. See, if ISIS bringing me here, I can't help but think on the back of my mind that this actually, it's either because they want to keep it that way, as in they are making sure it's not raising much of a ruckus, just keep it on the low profile, or maybe they are just not interested on renovating, restoring this building to its former glory. And that kind of stinks a bit. I actually am curious as to know the reason behind why it's not kept in a good state. And I'm just going to spell us in. Such a building should be way more taken care of.
I mean, she smiles. She says, it's cheap, but there's a reason for it. People move out very fast because they find it creepy. And she kind of whispers and says, to be honest, it's haunted. But mortals, she starts to walk to the front door. They don't really know the case of the haunting. I mean, the ghost is really nice. She just wants to communicate with people, but they can't hear her and they just feel the creepy factor. But you can actually talk to her, and it has a basement.
Promising. I mean, ghosts and basements, yeah, that's a classic.
But it's cheap. It's 3 stories. There's a friendly ghost. I promise you she's friendly. And I thought it would be perfect for a Tremere. Plus, it's close to my place. So if you ever need to get a book from my library,
Thank you very much. It's in the inn. Yeah, it's a really good place. I just can't help but wish it will be restored, or at the very least, look better.
I mean, you studied architecture, right? So if anyone can do it.
Yeah, man, I doubt they are going to give me a contract for this while I'm, picturing the place. I do have the mask, though. And I actually, I'm going to think about it while we get inside. Actually join inside.
She unlocks the door. She kind of looks over her shoulder. There's like a few steps up to the door. And you notice she's not having a key. She just simply waves her fingers in front of the lock and you hear the click.
Mm-hmm.
And
do I notice any kind of...
her fingers glow for a moment. You have sensed and seen. So yeah, she's using a magic. Walk in. Like quite a huge hall for the size of the house. The door opens by itself, which is the creepy part. Obviously it's squeaky, but Isa walks in. And when you turn on, you sense the unseen to see Isa. You also see the whole house is glowing. In bright blue-white light. It's not so bright so that it hurts your eyes, but the walls and the floors and the door, everything is kind of glowing. It's kind of like moonlight. And when you walk in, you hear from upstairs, "Ugh, more people that can ignore me."
Just as I imagine after a few seconds, the door closes back up. And there's people installing electronic doors. They could just hire a ghost after all.
It is her. I should say she's the house, and you hear from upstairs, Isa, is that you? And Isa yells back, yes, dear. And a woman appears, like out of nothing. She is wearing a white dress and like a nightgown. Her throat is slit, as these things happen. Otherwise, she's like like quite pretty, mid-20s. Can't really see the color of the hair or anything because she's looking spectral. And she smiles warmly. And
Hello. I'm sorry for intruding.
oh, you're not. She kind of reaches out her hand, but realizes she cannot touch you and pulls back. And she,
I actually, by instinct, I should do the same, and it's this awkward moment of, I'm sorry, not really sure how comfortable that is.
she pulls up her skirt instead, just a little bit, and bows her head.
My name is Maggie. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm Ia.
All right. Nice to meet you here.
She looks at Isa. So she's the one you told me about? Isa nods. And says, Ia was, well, murdered. And kind of gestures towards the wall by a Tremere who used to live in this house.
I'm sorry for that.
He says, don't worry about it, it's 200 years ago, it's fine. I've gotten over it. I'm just glad I might have someone to talk to, finally. Because all the fleshies, they just, ignore me, and when I throw things after them, they move out.
I mean, that tends to be the case, yes. I don't tend to like people that throw things at me, but I imagine it has to be really unnerving not to be able to communicate. To say the least.
So are you considering buying the place?
Yeah, I mean, it looks charming. And it seems that there are not that many neighbors to actually bother me.
No, I promise I'll be the best roommate ever.
Oh, no, I was not talking about you, I'm sorry. You're indeed.
And she just kind of gestures, and you hear from the kitchen that there's some cabinets that opens, and she said, oh fuck, I forgot there's nothing in them. I would offer you some tea, but they kind of took everything away.
It's fine, thank you very much.
But let me show you around the house. And she kind of disappears and appears in the room next to it.
I walk because I can disappear. Sadly.
You have not developed blinking. Well, it has everything that a house, just to a quick overview, like a large kitchen. It's been renovated in, you think, the 90s, so it's not that old. Most of the house. It has what is left of a library. There's 3 rooms upstairs, 2 bathrooms, not that you use them, but the basement though. The basement is the most interesting thing because it's mostly storage, but yeah, there's no handle or lock or anything, but a wall slides into the floor and reveals it's kind of a hexagonal table with, you recognize immediately, magical runes inscribed into it, and bookshelves that are currently empty, but you clearly feel something resonating from the altar, and it's probably what's making the whole house magical.
All right. I keep a mental note, a mental thought on that one.
And I said it's the only thing that's left. Obviously, the mortals don't find this room because it's only Ia who can open it. She's been bound to the house by the Tremere who killed her. To make a living house is the best way to explain it.
A living house, rather. While I'm looking at, the place.
It is true. Ia can control everything that's a part of the house. With just simply thoughts and gestures. And she also explains, but I cannot leave the place.
It has to be kind of lonely at times.
Very. Which is why I'm very much hoping that you'll buy the place.
I mean, I have some cash to burn, or rather melt, but yes, it will be my pleasure. There are actually any more inhabitants right now, or in the upper floors?
No. It's all, or asking if anyone else lives here? Yeah, no, it's just me, she says.
All right.
Well, living, and she laughs.
I mean, see you look at it through those lenses, there is no one living here right now, neither. I mean, checking my hair a bit.
Yeah. Well, we can make a kind of an undead house then, she smiles.
Sounds lovely. Having said that, I will actually start looking to the place. I might. How do I explain? I actually want to not avoid, but to keep a safe distance with the centerpiece right now. I would like to actually, have some kind of subtlety. And I'm actually going to think for a while. And I'm going to refer to Isa. Is there any way I could actually maybe do a roll something to understand or imply how okay is Delia with the rituals and the like of the Tremere, because I can understand that she left behind the grudges, but I'm not very sure if she's going to take it okay, someone using actually rituals, even if it's my variant of the different kind of Tremere. I would like to see if there is maybe some kind of insight roll, or just I might deduce it some way. Maybe I'm not seeing any rituals anywhere, and I can interpret that as saying, oh yeah, she's okay with the Tremere living here, but she's not going to allow me to create any kind of rituals.
Well, you don't need to roll. It seems like she does not care about or your clan or whatever. She seems to understand that you're a different kind of Tremere. That you're Kana, and she seems to know Isa, and Isa has vouched for you, and she does not mind magic. And you're pretty good with wards, and you're pretty good with sorcery in general. And the best, you've never seen this done, but when you look into it or kind of think about it, it's like a Tremere has made a conscious ward in the whole house, tied to a spirit. But no, she does not mind you practicing your sorcery in here, because she thinks you're a good person.
Then I'm really going to ask, Isa, is there any way to make sure our rituals don't affect our companion while pointing at the girl, the ghost. As in, just like you can actually include people into, for example, a gold ward or a vampire ward so that they are not affected by it. See, if I made a spirit ward, I don't want to affect her in any way, for example.
I don't actually know, but a very interesting question. Maybe a piece of the fetter or something. I mean, for everyone else, it requires blood, but obviously we can't get that. It's interesting. It's a very interesting question, and we should definitely look into that.
I would really want not to hurt her in any way, even by mistake, so I will refrain from using them until I know. Thank you very much. I would like to look into it then.
I'm sure we can come up with something. As I said, ghosts are not really my expertise. Like the Cappadocians are way better at that than I will ever be, but they are also, well, evil, she says.
I'm going to remind the Cappadocian visit. I'm going to... Shivering is not actually something that happens between vampires, but I still have the instinct from when I was alive, and it grows, slightly. It's not as strong as it would have been when I could actually breathe and all that, but I have simulacrum of it. Yeah, not exactly. Well, thank you very much. Do you mind if I move some of my stuff to these next days?
Oh no, don't worry. I'll get you in contact with the current owner, and I'm sure you can figure out something very cheap.
Thank you very much. And unless you want to entail something else, I personally am fine with this.
Out of character, you can buy it for a haven.
All right. Just one point, last point, if you don't mind. Sorry.
No worries.
By the way, if I bring some mortal people here, just temporarily, it will be any problem?
No, not at all.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much. Actually, I'm going to...
The ghost probably
We need
says,
to do something together. I'm going to smile with a slight devilish tone, but I think we can finish that there unless you want to say something really specific.
no, it's just the ghost. She says, as long as you don't slit their throat, but she's kind of joking.
All right. No, not my style at all. Thank you very much. I really don't like seeing blood.
The vampire said.
I mean, I may enjoy just in it, but seeing it completely different, please.
Unless there's more you want out of it, I'm gonna jump to Leo. Leo, same thing. Random day during the week. Walking the street, don't know where or who you've been or where you're going to, but a limousine pulls up next to you. The window goes down, and you see a woman, pale, blonde hair, about shoulder length. She's wearing a blue dress. She looks about 18, you think. She smiles, but she's beautiful in a childish way, but also has the eyes of a shark. This is a kindred, definitely, and she's not blushed or high humanity, but she simply says, "Get in," and the door opens.
Why not? And Leah will just get in.
She stretches out her hand for you to kiss it and says, "I'm the harpy, Regina Blake."
Leah will take the hand and kiss it. Good evening.
A pleasure to meet you, finally.
Likewise.
I wanted to have a chat before you come to my Elysium next week.
Okay.
I want to know you better, figure out what you want, what makes you tick, and I want you. If I could shrink you down and have you in my purse, I would, but unfortunately I can't. So I have to figure out how else I'm gonna do this.
I mean, thank you for the compliment. Understandably so, but what do you have to gain from this? Or what do I have to gain from this?
I need more roses on my side. And you would gain a teacher, a confidant, an ally. I mean, I'm the harpy deer. I have power, and I'm the child of Victoria Ash as well.
Fair enough.
As strange as we might be. But I don't see eye to eye with the other Toreadors. The Primogen is... Well, she spends her time talking to plants, and the Keeper is... Well, he should never have been a Toreador, let's just say that. He's busy playing Tremere.
I see. So what do you want to know from me then?
I want to know what that pretty little, and she kind of daps you on the nose, Baron gets up to in his free time, and especially when when Adrian is around, because she does not want to talk about it. I know everybody's secrets, almost, she says.
Well, if Adrian doesn't want to share, why should I?
Because you have something to gain, and she does not. She's already Primogen. But I do not like her being so close with the Anarch Baron. I'm just having the Prince's best interest in mind, you see. And London, of course.
I mean, yes, she's close to him, but she also beats up his people every Tuesday, so...
Well, she's a brood.
Clearly. Well, we don't do much. She helps me. I help her a little bit.
Well, at least you kind of hear the disdain in the voice. Okay with outfits, and she looks at your red suit.
Yes, I can thank her for this one, but I typically make my own.
But
I know some people in fabric and whatnot, so I can sew whatever I need. Any point.
so what would it take for me to have you?
As your personal costumer, or what do you mean?
It's my assistant.
I mean, I'd love the place to live. I don't really enjoy living in a basement anymore.
Done.
Lovely.
What else? What do you dream about? What is your passion? Except for clothes.
For now, I just want to see how this political system works a bit more. Maybe tear down some walls for fun's sake.
Sounds like a good idea. How about staff? You need staff?
No, I'm fine on my own.
Okay.
People tend to make mistakes. I don't.
She smiles at the comment.
Leo stifles a little bit of a laugh.
Well, when they make mistakes, you should be sure to punish them if you ever get yourself servants.
Oh, trust me, I will.
So a place to live, I feel that's too little. What else can I get you? I really want your loyalty. And that beautiful face to look at. Whenever I want.
If Leo could blush.
He can't, but it requires a rouse.
How about just an IOU for now?
A boon from the hobby it is. And I'll get you a place in my domain. I own most of it.
Sounds lovely. And it's not Croydon.
It is not Croydon. Where can I drop you off?
Leo will just give her an address that is random, and then he'll walk away because he does not fully trust her.
Yeah, before you are let out of the car, she says, "Oh, and by the way, I stopped the sheriff from killing you. I understand you had a little bit of an accident with some guy at a club, and
Which one?
I cleaned up that whole mess, so don't worry about Darius for now." And you kind of let out of the limousine.
Leo's not going to think any more of it and just walk off.
Alrighty. Is there more you want from this scene?
No, I think I'm sufficient there.
A little bit of things happened during the week. I first want to address the embrace of Sydney. Emery obviously arrived at her New Haven, the theatre in central London. Sydney on the spy master's shoulder, and he's put down on the floor. You and the spy master sit and wait for the magic moment. At some point in the dead silence, Sydney starts to scream and writhe in pain. And the spy master says, "It's like this for most of us. Pure agony." Sydney's skin starts to turn black. And I'm not talking you come from an African country, I'm talking coal black. His eyes, when they open, are scarlet red, kind of glowing, and you see each vertebrae protrude from his skin, morphing into spikes. His hands grow slightly bigger, fingers elongate a few inches, and he kind of gains claws. This is a process of pure agony, about half an hour. I just want to explain what became of Sydney, but I'm sure we'll get back to that at some point. He did not get the bane of his sire. Emery indeed is unique. I want to start off with Dave for telling what people did during the week, because I have something that I also need to address with that. But I'll let Dave go first and kind of explain what he did during his sabbatical.
In the last week, Dave has been popping in and out, so a little bit with Alistair, a little bit with Cassandra, and practicing the rituals. And the rest of the time, while everyone else is avoiding the basement, as part of the deal, Dave would have fed at least 3 or 4 times Mr. Smith in the basement, and spending the rest of the time having a chat. Oh, and the runes and everything else around Mr. Smith.
Well, when you feed him, for the first time at least, the altar starts to hum, just a slow resonance of something. The man changes across, unmummifies. That's a word now. Well, he becomes living to look at. He does not look like a dried raisin anymore. The chains grow bright red, kind of pulsing. And then the man opens his eyes, his red glowing eyes. There's a frightening beauty in him, an ancient power. He looks at you, Dave, and says, "Thank you. Let's serve Crowley together." The next one is Luke. You did something during your week as well, trying to gain some new allies, I think.
Yes, that's a great way of putting it. Yeah, I would frame it that way. Mm-hmm. So shall I just describe it like in summary or yeah, okay. So Luke, he realizes that his coterie was less concerned, or at least appeared to be less concerned about the fact that the crazy ass prince wanted boons from all of them, seemed to know where they were. Their warlock could come in at any time. You know, none of this seemed to faze them very much. It just didn't seem to bother them nearly as much as Luke felt that it should. And so, of course, Luke is moving out. Like, he can't stay there. Just like everybody else is pretty much moving out. Like, you know, obviously it's no longer a safe space, and but along any sense of that word or definition. So yeah, he's moving out, and he feels that he's feeling a little bit like he's kind of by himself in terms of like feeling the way he does. Like, he's not even really sure if he can trust anybody at this point. Like, he's just like, everybody just seems to be dangerously nonchalant about all of this. And so he's doing the one reasonable thing that he felt like he could do. You know, going to the one person who might truly understand the threat and the possible implications of the prince knowing where everybody's at and being able to basically infiltrate at any given moment on a whim. And, you know, given that Gabriel is kind of, you know, just like he thinks everything's under control and everybody else is just really passe about it, you know, that sort of thing. He goes and he finds a mirror. And he calls out, Nemesis, Nemesis, Nemesis 3 times. Yeah, because, you know, the enemy of your enemy is your friend, of course. That always ends up well. So, you know, that's where he's at right now. That's what he's thinking. He thinks that this is sound logic. And he feels that at least Nemesis seems really good at hiding wherever it is she goes. She seems, or at least appears to him, to be fairly antagonistic to the prince at all opportunities. She's not like letting warlocks and everybody else come and go as they please, and isn't on a first name basis with you know, the prince and everything like that, and other elements of the city. So he basically summons Nemesis. You know, Nemesis and him share a kind of clan lineage there too, you know, in the sense that they are both of a particular shadowy clan. So yeah, he basically makes an emergency call to Nemesis, using and performing all the proper rites and rituals, you know, to bring her into being, to manifest her presence, her dark aura, you know, stepping forth from the shadows of the room, and explains, of course, that he would like her help in exchange for you know, performing certain informational services and, you know, perhaps other services, you know, for her in exchange for his safety and the safety of his ghoul, and perhaps now his new stalker friend. You know, he basically is like, help me and I'll help you in the way that we both understand these things to work in a transactional nature, and maybe you can teach me what you know too.
Well, I'm sure we'll get back to that as well. But her price for giving you a safe haven.
Yes,
possibly
one that's safer than everybody else's. No fucking bathtub with like arms reaching out of it. No goddamn guy, you know, basically like screaming into your mind, you know, to free him. No goddamn warlock stepping out of a portal to get your name in a book. Like, look, I just want safety, right? I don't want everybody crawling up my ass. Okay?
She only has 2 werewolves and a couple of wraiths in her basement, but I'm sure she can find
as long as they keep it to themselves, you know, like that's fine, you know, like it's cool. I'm here for like the flea bags and the phantoms.
Obviously, she has a price.
Of course she does. Yeah. I wouldn't trust her if she didn't.
The price is the book, the good doctor's book, Dr. Richter's book, that you found in the haunted hospital's basement.
Done. Yeah. Chores. Yeah. He hands it over. He's just
that is in your possession.
Yes. And he just goes, you got it. You know, in exchange, you know, we can work together. You can take this as a token of my, you know, this is a payment of good faith. and I just want to be safe, right? And there's fucking nothing that Gabriel can do to convince me that he's keeping me safe at this point. My coterie doesn't seem to care, and so.
Well, you can buy a haven in Redbridge. Nemesis assumes that you want something that's akin to a house and not just some cistern in a sewer.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah, something that's off the grid, because I live off the grid anyway.
As a part of the agreement, is she's awarding it to all hell.
Standing, yeah. No fucking ghosts, no goddamn. And I understand you got your own race, but not here. And no prince, and no goddamn warlock, and nobody else that I want in there.
The way she explains it is the only one who can enter without going boom is her and your ghouls, and of course yourself.
Perfect, outstanding.
But don't bring your friends
beautiful.
there because they will go boom.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, no, I will not even I will not breathe a word where I'm living now to anyone, because my friends are crazy. So. I love you. Heart.
The next one on the agenda is Leo. What did you do during your week?
Yes. As the first week ends, Leo has a mental breakdown.
As you do.
In realizing that he will not return to Paris in the nearest future. And then afterwards, he just kind of sits down and does nothing but but just piles of clothing everywhere. And he'll also make sure that there is some clothing suited for sewage, as he keeps ending up in it no matter what happens. And as he just keeps sewing and sewing, he's just kind of mindlessly, the emotions are just draining out of him, but he's trying his best not to show it, just constantly keeping on. Like in movies when beautiful people cry and you're like, oh, but they're still beautiful. That's kind of what he does the entire week.
Yes. And obviously, as well, you have received a very nice penthouse apartment from Regina.
Oh, yes. And then, he'll move all this stuff over there.
And, I mean, it functions as an apartment, but if you want all the haven benefits, obviously all the people who want havens have to spend XP on them. If they want them to function as this will wake me up during the day and all the mechanical things. Next one on the agenda is Marie. What did you do during your week?
All right, perfect. So, as the weeks pass by, as days go by, I realizes that the hunger she's been feeling is driving her into a corner. She is surrounded by crazy cultists, powerful warlocks, hot-tempered thugs, and she cannot keep even her own beast at bay from leaking out these times. So she's going to focus on actually taking care of that. That's part of why she was looking a new apartment, so that she can lure her, clients and all that she's slowly getting in touch with. She bought a new phone that it can be discarded easily. It's not really complex. She's not putting any personal information. She's using her mask to basically build once more her contact list, so that she can actually offer her services one more. And she's recovering her old clients. Mainly making sure she has a steady, easy, and most importantly safe herd to feed from, to make sure she does not get as hungry as often. She does not want to keep endangering both the Masquerade and her packmates with her stigmata and her own personal problems. So she's really hard trying to make sure that's okay, making sure she has a place to bring these people that won't endanger the rest of the pack, making sure she can feed easily and safely, both for the people she's feeding from and for the wellness of everyone else. And yeah, mostly that. Keeping all those old contacts in line and making sure she avoids one really specific number that always make her stumble whenever she's scrolling to the contact list. But hopefully she won't have to resort to that. Not yet, at least.
All right, yeah. Obviously, the apartment thing and everything you can buy. Emery, what do you spend your week doing? I know you had a letter thing and a scene for that, but we can get back to that at some other point.
Yeah. So, following the embrace of her touchstone / partner, she definitely is taking advantage of her newfound niceties afforded to her by Mithras. And from the beginning, her goal was to set up a series of safe houses within the theater. She knew that there were theaters throughout, and that's like the realm that she came from. So she explored the options that she has there. She also wanted to make sure that with her new child, or that there's a safe place for them, because there's apparently a shared brain cell in the lack of safety for the basement that we started our journey in. And she didn't want to bring her child into that fold. So she has kind of gone through the area where the West End, where the theaters are, and she's been mixing and mingling with different food cart vendors, taco trucks, or
fish and chips.
Fish and chips, whatever they have. Like, she's there, and she's kind of mapped out ways that she could expand, or to like what extent her childcare could be used for future goals. Because while having individuals or feeding options locally, you can't just DoorDash a vessel, so to speak. But if they're on the street corners throughout the areas, and or maybe have the ability to, inform her, she's kind of like thought about contacts who, like, if someone saw something. There's been some shady things that have happened on the streets, but where she and others might not love the sewer, if she can get a heads up of what's on the street, that's what she would like to have. And what better way of doing that than, food vendors? So that's what she's been doing. And so while the time following her husband's embrace, it was like painful, and it was different than what she remembered for herself, she definitely had some pains there, unsure how to help him because she couldn't do anything about it. And so I think that where there had to have been some humanity that reminded her of this relationship that was a match made in heaven, she definitely watched it morph into a monster before her eyes. And so where previously she might have been in a position where love blinded her, she's in the position where a child is going to help her see things in areas she might not have been able to explore up to this point. And that's what she's been doing.
There's one comment on that. The cult is very keen on protecting new embraces, and obviously the rest of the Norse clan is helping out with anything that he or you need. Because, well, you are the only one that can just walk the streets without people screaming at you in all of London, as far as they know.
Just a few pigeons, it's fine.
Yeah. Oliver, what have you been up to during the week? Sneaking around on your Sith journey.
So, basically spending, like, Oliver's been spending his time with Victor with his like I guess like a mix of like Pai Mei mixed with the Trial of the Grasses going on over there, getting set on fire constantly, which is fun. And then I don't know what the training is. It's up to you. That's what I imagine is going on. And then making a sneaky little trip over to the cult of Mithras. And he wouldn't talk to Emery. He wouldn't go to her. He doesn't trust anybody, even in the coterie, really. And he just wants to know what would be required of him because they offered him a forge. So that's something that he would do. But then he would be informed of like the cost, and he'd be like, "Oh, no, I don't want to do that." They would be like, "You have to kill your touchstone, or you have to bring them in." And then he's thinking like, "Oh, yeah, Mr. Doyle, the guy who I clean up bodies for, he's like a mix of like Agent 47 and John Wick. I don't want to, like, he doesn't want to mess with that guy." So he's just like, "No." So he goes back to Victor and just keeps going, just keeps getting napalm over and over again.
Well, it's you're learning 2 rituals. I can explain that.
Okay.
First of all, it's well, out of character. You don't have to buy them before you want to, but it's the first steps as he explains it. Mm-hmm. But it's the letter ward, so you can send him messages safely. Because he is 600 years old and only trusts scrolls. And the second one is to temper the fear of fire. So he is basically preparing you for a fire walker ceremony, which is, he explains, is the first step to control the fire, or at least your fear of it. And you have also gotten a very large and nice and vampire-proof, or at least friendly, room at the Prince's. Very nice resort.
Hell yeah.
Where you have become a stable guest.
Sorry, I saw the thing that Luke posted. Kills me.
That cuts.
But yeah, with you said like I don't have to spend the XP just yet, or he's just like teaching me how to do it, kind of.
It's up to you. Whenever you buy them, you have learned them.
Okay.
It would be 6 XP for both of the rituals, and then you can actually go through or we can have the scene of the firewalker. If you succeed or not, the dice will have to determine that. But
yeah. I do have a quick question. Because I have a point in blood sorcery, does that come with a ritual, or am I remembering this incorrectly? That if you gain a dot,
only if you begin the game with it.
I understand. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You acquired it through other means. So
through other means. All right. Just wanted to make sure.
Before we get into really long group scenes and, well, the next episode for everyone else, let's have a break. So we can get something to drink and some tea before everyone start arguing about what Dave has done in the restaurant.
We got 2 Camarilla, 1 Mithras.
He did what?
This is why Luke
He
is
left the basement.
This is why Luke is just fucking right off into the okay.
No, Nemesis, good idea.
Which is really right coming from the La Sombra, because can we talk about the Sabbat for a minute? Like, just
I'm just like, what's going on? Dude, it fucking kills me. He's like, we would now serve Crowley together. And he's like, perfect. Like, fucking, like, where did this come from?
It's going
He
crazy.
knew it was gonna happen.
Well, if you all hadn't have left the basement, you would have been there to stop him. I'd join him.